Hey everybody, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in to another edition of My Goddess Thoughts with your girl, Thehiddenlovr. And we're about to get started diving into another section, another law, the law number 2 of the Hermetic Laws, Correspondence, as we go through reseeding our tree of life from the house within. So to get started, I want y'all to just breathe with me and let's go through this quick little exercise so we can step into that place. I want you guys to take a deep breath. I'm talking about those deep, nice, slow breaths with me. Not a performative breath, but a real one. A deep one that you can feel. And as you breathe, I want you to focus on what your body tells you. I want you to breathe to where you feel safe, where it's enough to listen. And now, as you take another breath, I want you to go back to that place where we're standing in front of that house and we're looking at that door, that front door. And we're not so much focused on what the door looks like. We don't care whether it's fancy or decorated, if it's broken or dirty. We just want to be present. Just want to see your door, that door. The door to your house, your inner world. The door to where you're living in your truth. Now I want you to knock on that door, so that we can step inside as we begin to go into the house within. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that little exercise, just breathing and envisioning. I'm working more on intertwining a little bit more of that breathing and meditation and envisionment into this segment, as well as other segments I'm going to be adding into Goddess Thoughts. But as we say today, as I'm saying today, I'm starting with, of course, this is reseeding our tree of life. Law 2 of the Hermetic Laws, which is correspondence. As above, so below. As within, as without. If my inner house has clutter, it's no wonder why my outer world it's feeling like a maze. It's feeling cramped. I mean, honestly, we can't feng shui away our life without touching on our beliefs. And that's why I wanted to come to this, is like walking through a house and envisioning that closed room and knowing that those are the feelings we're running from, the feelings we're closing off. Walking down the hallway with broken lights. Sometimes those are our boundaries. And to be honest, if we truly understand, if our outer world is a reflection of our inner world, and I'm talking about that inner world as in our house, it's always going to reflect us with no filters. So again, I would like to welcome you to the house within. And so for correspondence to me is our inner world, our floor plan, our layout. It's the entryways, the doorways, and the hallways in the house. It's like how we reveal our inner patterns and how we study and understand our inner patterns is exactly how we show up externally in the world. So with that, that's where I want to begin. And I also want you to understand, like when I'm combining together these laws, I also always add in a chakra. And so when I was researching and kind of putting this together, correspondence in this regard with the tree of life connected to the third eye. And when you think about the third eye, it's governing perception and interpretation. How we perceive, how we interpret, how we relate, as within, as without, right? So thinking about it as an entryway, where the first impression lives, is where the energy, it's the energy before the words. It's those moments before the conversation, the vibes before the explanation is how life greets us. And honestly, it's how we've been greeting ourselves. So now as I begin to move into the meat of the meal, and how we start applying the law of correspondence to our walk of walking through and discovering what inside do we need to examine, what inside that we need to interpret so that we can change what's outside. I want you to think about this. How life greets you is how you've been greeting yourself. I want you to let that sink in for a second. How life greets you is how you have been greeting yourself. So if chaos keeps coming to your door, I want you not to shame it, because it's something inside that's causing that turmoil. But I want you to go through your house, check your hallways, check your entryways. Because if we understand and we know that what we're seeing and what we're giving out is not fantasy, it's all about our perception. We have to stop focusing on what is happening, but focus more on how we're interpreting what happens. It's understanding how we walk through life, how we see life. And when you think about how you're walking through life and seeing life, do you look at it as a threat? Because if you start, or you're expecting a threat, or you're living out of fear, or you're always seeing kind of the worst side, or you look at everything as that a cup is half empty. And if you kind of embody any of those things, you start noticing it as we start perceiving how we reflect. Things feel loud. Everything feels personal. It can feel sharp. But we have to understand this is not intuition. This is just part of that unhealed foyer, those unhealed wounds that is altering our perception and our interpretations. Things that we have to check, things that we have to heal. And as I kept going through and kept researching, it started making me think about awareness. And how do we become aware? Also, third eye, perception, awareness. And so how to become aware of those things that we have internalized, that are reflecting and altering our thoughts and the way we see and receive things that we don't even understand is subconscious. And the reason that is because a lot of this is programming. We didn't design this alone. Some of this came from family, some of this came from culture, some of it came from survival, some of this was inherited, some of this was learned. But the great thing is it can all be unlearned. And as we continue to rip these band-aids off, as we continue to tear through these foundations and go through these hallways and these doorways and repatching these holes and fixing the wires and redecorating and reshaping our house, our tree of life, our perception in this instance, we can understand that our reality is our responsibility. And like you say, everything on the outer is coming from the inner, so within, so without. And now I was kind of thinking about it as like a traffic light, understanding that not everyone that knocks at the door deserves to enter, and not everything that is inside deserves to be examined. And we have to understand sometimes we leave doors open too long, sometimes we keep stuff locked out of fear. We have to find that balance. We have to find out what we allow and who we allow to have access to us. And I came up with like red, green, and yellow. So green is learning when we have to open up and allow certain things in. Yellow is understanding we need to pause. And red is, of course, when we not today or it's closed, access denied. And as we move through those things, that helps us with our growth, that helps us with our identifying and our perception. And it helps us now go further inside as we clear out and reshape and review what we have planted and what we're sprouting. And it's the perception of what we've planted. It's the fruits of what we planted. It's the thoughts that we are sparking what we expected to get. And if it's not, that's where we know where we need to change. So now I want to go through another quick walkthrough. And this one is not as deep as it's not really a meditation, it's just kind of a gentle closing of your eyes or just softening your gaze. And I just want you to visualize, imagine you're standing in your inner door. It's like, what do you see? This is where we're going to try and open up and find what we need to work on in this law of correspondence. I want you to look at that door, stand in that doorway. Pay attention to the details. Is what you're seeing bright or dim? Is it crowded or clear? Is it loud or quiet? And as you turn around and step into that next entryway, hallway, or room, I want you to turn and look at that door. Is the door open or closed? Is it heavy? Is it glass? And now when you see that, understand that door now represents the access. And when you're looking at that door, I want you to ask yourself, what am I letting inside that mirrors how I feel right now? And I don't want you to rush to answer this. I want you to just let your body respond. Let your body guide you to it before your mind tries to put words to it. Allow your body to feel it. And now I want you to continue to go back through that entryway and walk down that hall. And when you walk into that hall, I want you to look ahead. And tell me what you see. Is your hallway straight? Is it twisting? Is it short? Can you not see the end? It seems like it's forever and ever, ever long walkers. Now what this is a reflection of is how you are moving your thoughts into action. Let that sink in. How your hallway looks is how your thoughts move into action. Let's take a breath on that. And just keep looking. We're not here to fix in this particular moment. This is perception and observation. We're just looking to see and understanding that's third eye work. Perception by transformation. Because if our outer world is junky, I need to start with one inner shelf. If my relationships feel invasive, I need to start looking where I feel like I've been abandoned or let down, or maybe we need to check our boundaries. If joy feels like this distant, unachievable fallacy, it may be time to ask ourselves, at what point did we stop letting ourselves see it? When did we stop trying to feel it? When did we stop trying to obtain it? These are just all thoughts and perceptions that bring us back to correspondence. And that's how we claim our power, because it's not about blaming ourselves. It's not about feeling any shame or guilt. It's about the power of understanding. It's about the power of perception and transforming so that we can change it. And as I'm coming up on my closing, I wanted to say this. We're not here to bulldoze this house. We're not here to bulldoze this temple. We're just here to make adjustments to the entrance. One boundary at a time, one clarified belief at a time. One honest moment of self-observation at a time. And that's how we start shifting reality. That's how we start viewing things differently and start moving differently. And as I'm going into my closing, I want to say that we're not starting over. We're just starting wiser. We're just finding a way to move back into ourselves, stepping back into our bodies, feeling our feet, feeling those old doors close as we see the new parts open. Because we don't need sharper vision. We just need to have a gentler perception and understand that our house isn't judging us. It's trying to communicate to us, and it's up to us to listen. It's up to us to understand. And I want you to say this with me. What I see within, I meet without. Now let that echo down that hall. What I see within, I meet without. And so as I'm combining together the seed of life, which is the basis for receiving our tree of life, with the laws that govern the cosmos, which are the Hermetic Laws, and I start applying them. I want you to also start applying them, to your everyday life, to your days, to your relationships, to your self-talk, to your boundaries. Because healing isn't about becoming new. It's about becoming rooted. Same soul, better soil. And taking care of our house, your house. Because it's holding you, it's covering you. And remember to breathe and water it and let it grow. Because it is the house within. And as I'm closing today, I'm going to leave you with 4 questions. What am I allowing access to unconsciously? Where does my outer life mirror my inner state? Is it accurate, and do I like the reflection of it? What room in me needs some more space? And where does my outer life reflect my inner state in this moment? Allow all those to sink in. And I'd like to thank you for stepping inside the house within with me as we got a little deeper into Law 2, Correspondence of the Hermetic Laws. And my closing thoughts, and this is more of my interpretation and how I am applying the law of correspondence right now. When I'm sitting in reflection, and I like to sit in nature and reflect and work on myself. But I also say, sometimes I might just anywhere where you can be quiet for a few minutes. It doesn't take a long time. I mean, even if you have 5 minutes while you're sitting in the car, or if you're on your lunch break, or before you go to bed at night, just laying in the bed. Sometimes with music, I know with me a lot of times, music allows me to tune out everything so I can tune in to myself. It allows me to drown out the exterior so I can focus. And if words are a distraction, use instrumentals. I mean, if I'm using instrumentals, I like Duric flute, Persian music, Armenian meditation music. But words don't always necessarily bother me, because sometimes when I'm focusing, those words actually help bring about things that I didn't think of when a certain word sticks out to me that's playing in the background as I'm tuning in, and it opens up my mind and my perception even more. And as I always say, work on one thing at a time. Whatever comes to me, whatever sticks out the most, like if I have something like it just won't let me go, it keeps coming in my thoughts, it keeps coming into my purview or whatever, that's the first thing. And understanding change is not something that happens fast, and we have to always give ourselves grace, because we're growing every day, we're learning every day, we're really changing every day, because every day you take in something new. You may not have a overall morality change, but if you understand, every day we've gained something that we didn't have the day before. Another day, another breath, another life. We've observed more, we've had more conversations, we've seen things so we're always change. So we have to do those audits from time to time. And it's not just when things are not reflecting or looking bad or feeling some type of way in your life. I always say I do a 6-month audit on everything in my life every 6 months. And that means everything. That's like a full myself, the people around me, the things I'm doing, like a full 6 months. That's 6 months. I know people who I have someone that I actually really got that from, and she does it every 3 months, and she actually applies it to the 3 months to the people around her. And she's like, everybody has a 90-day probation period, but I decided 6 months of full life evaluation, not just people, everything, because I need to audit myself. I'm not perfect. And I'm never going to be, but I can be imperfectly perfect, but that still doesn't mean I can't understand it. I need to work on some things from time to time. And understanding it's not always about healing, because if we keep saying we're healing, we're always going to be in a mindset of healing. That's almost like a survival mindset. It's reshaping and reseeding and regrowing and maturing and understanding where you're trying to go or what you're trying to do and how what you're doing align or doesn't align. And that's just part of life, and just part of always wanting to educate and grow. And that's just my thoughts and my take on it today. And with that being said, I am going to go ahead and end my Goddess Thoughts. I would like to thank you guys for tuning in to another edition of Goddess Thoughts in this episode. This one was different. This one was actually a lot more difficult than the first one, mentalism, but I felt like it was more in depth, and I was able to actually kind of do a lot more research and bring a lot of things in. So I want to thank you for coming inside the house within, and go ahead and turn them lights off and wait till next week, because next week we have Law 3 of the reseeding of our tree of life. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Goddess Thoughts. It is your girl, none other than Thehiddenlovr. As I always say, love and light, man. You guys enjoy your day as I always do. Mwah.